Hey guys, this is my 2012 Chevrolet Equinox. This is the muffler on the rear of the Equinox. That's towards the front of the truck. The issue with these mufflers is where the seam's at, they have a tendency to start rusting. As you can see the big crack all the way down. It's not all the way, but it's fairly extensive. Right in there, and mainly in here, you can see right inside there. So what I've done is I've scuffed up along the seam with a wire brush, and the next step is to mix up some JB Weld. I'm going to give it a try. It's if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'm only out a few dollars. So the next step is to mix my two-part of JB Weld. You need to do equal amounts of the black tube and the red tube. So I'm actually going to mix it all up because I need to do the entire seam on the muffler. So I'm going to mix this up and then we'll take it out to the garage and put it on. So I'm going to mix about half of it right now, and then I'll come back in and mix a little bit more as needed. This isn't exact, but it's pretty close. Make sure you put the tops on so it'll dry out. Now the big thing with this is you got to make sure you mix it really well. And just make sure when you're mixing it, it's consistent. You can see it turns a kind of a darker gray. You just don't want any of the black or the white resin not mixed in. And this sets up pretty quick. The warmer the temperature, the quicker it does set up. Now it's again, it's fairly cold out. The muffler's still a little bit warm, so that'll make it a little easier to put it on. Well, that's mixed up really well there, so I'm going to take this out to the truck. So there's the first coat. I still have the rest of the seam to do, but I ran out of JB Weld for the first mixture, so I'll go in and mix a little bit more. I do find JB Weld is quite runny, so it does take a little bit of finessing. No doubt I'm expecting it to kind of drip out a little bit of the seam there, because there is a fair amount of gap, as you can see there. So I'm going to go mix another coat, and I'll finish doing the seam, and I'll let that cure overnight, and then I'll come out in the morning and I may put one more coat on. Alright, so we got all the JB Weld on the seam there, so the next step is to let this cure overnight, and then we'll give another shot with the motor running, and hopefully that will seal it. They do say it takes 4 to 6 hours to cure. Again, it's quite cold out, so I'm going to give it about 3 or 4 times that for it to cure, and then hopefully it'll be rock solid and get a little more life out of this muffler. Alright guys, so early this afternoon, it'd be the next day, I had to make a little makeshift area as the JB Weld wasn't drying. So I have my reflective film all the way around underneath. I'll just move that so you can see. Here's what it looks like underneath. As you can see, I get the reflective film all the way around. It's the only way I could keep heat in. Again, it was close to minus 20 all night last night and today. And it's starting to dry, as you can see there now. It was really soft to the touch this morning, so that was almost 12 hours later, so now it's actually starting to dry. I'm actually going to keep some heat in here all night, so it's going to cure for about 36 hours, and hopefully that should be the final outcome with this. And then I'll give it a quick coat of paint just to touch it up, just so it doesn't look like a rusty muffler with a JB Weld on it. Alright guys, so I let this cure for another night. I had it all surrounded with flooring foam with the almost like a tin foil on it to reflect the heat. And now it's nice and hard to the touch. So the next step is to give this a try, and hopefully it worked. So as I can hear, it's held. So all I want to do is give it a quick coat of some rust-oleum paint, just kind of clean that area up a little bit. Sorry about the noise in the background. I got the old 52 Ford 8M warming up so I can put it back in the garage. Now go around to the other side and give it a quick coat, just a little bit to protect it. Anyways guys, just a short video on how you can repair your muffler that's had an issue with it cracking at the seam. And again, this